Welcome to a new Scuderia Ferrari racing news. We are on the eve of the home race for Ferrari, the Italian Grand Prix. A very special race, and two special persons tell us why, Fernando Alonso and Felipe Massa.
Well, Monza is special because it's a very high speed circuit. You have unique feelings in Monza with more than 350 kilometers an hour. And then Monza is also special because it's the home Grand Prix for Ferrari. You race in Italy with an Italian car, and for us Monza means a lot in the championship, so we will try to do well there. Yeah, championship obviously is more and more difficult. There is one race less, the gap is increased a little bit more, so we are realistic, and the championship is getting more and more difficult, but we never give up in the past, and we will not do it now. We will try to fight until the end. The motivation is easy to find. Each Grand Prix you go, you want to win. Have the victory in one Formula 1 Grand Prix is very special, and we all want to do that. And there are more motivations, there are the Constructor Championship, there are more things that are still open, and we will try to do well until the last moment. Yeah, it's true that this year, one of the targets we put at the beginning of the year, the team and I, was to improve what we did last year, race by race. And now, after 12 races, we have 42 points, I think, more than last year in this time. And it's frustrating a little bit to see that the gap with the leader of the championships is nearly the double. So it's something that we need to keep improving. We are very happy with the 2011 season in respect of ourselves comparing last year, but obviously it's not enough to be leading the championship. So it was a very strange combination of results this year that next year we will try to win more races. Yeah, 2001 Monza, Minardi, is the first time you arrive in Monza with a Formula 1 car is very special. You reach 350 kilometers an hour for the first time in your life. It's a very good feeling, the speed and the emotion of Monza. And I remember, obviously, with the Minardi it was difficult time, starting at the back, qualifying at the back. I think I finished the race, but the impression was that Monza was very special in a Formula 1 car. Yeah, 2006 we arrived leading the championship with Michael Schumacher behind us, so we arrived in Monza like opponent of Ferrari, so it was a new experience. All the tifosi trying to put pressure on you. I remember in qualifying I had a penalty for blocking another driver. I started in 10th. And then in the race, when I was third, I had an engine problem in turn 1. All the grandstand was very exciting about my problem. Michael was leading the race, and this is part of the sport, and it was an interesting experience. Yeah, 2007, 1 year later, I arrived with McLaren. I had the pole position, race win, and fastest lap on the race, so it was a great weekend in terms of performance and winning the race. First win in Monza, which is a historic track, so we all want to win at Monza at least one time in our lives, and it was a good weekend. But obviously, again, with all the tifosi not playing at home because they want always a Ferrari to win the race. So when you win for McLaren, it's not the same feeling. Yeah, 2010, very different feeling. This time, again, pole position, race win and fastest lap, but with Ferrari. So that was very, very special. I had a great feeling, a great weekend. Since I arrived in the airport, I had the support of all the tifosi in the streets, in Monza, in the hotels, in the paddock. So it was a good experience. I enjoyed so much that weekend, and especially the feeling in the podium. You are on the main straight, and you see all the people going into the circuit, into the main straight, in the asphalt. And it was like 20,000 people in front of you with all the Ferrari flags. So an image that will be difficult to forget. Well, I think it's very possible to repeat the success in 2011. I think Monza is a very unique track. It's a very unique setup that you use in Monza, a different wing and aero configuration. So we have no reference. We start all from zero. I think we have a great experience of last year. We know how to prepare the car for Monza, so I expect a very competitive car. And then, win or not win a Grand Prix, you need many factors to be together, but what we can be sure that Ferrari will be very strong in Monza because we all want to deliver in the home Grand Prix.
Well, racing Monza is really a fantastic place for us. It's our home Grand Prix for Ferrari, and when you go there and you see all the tifosi on red, really you can see the love of the speed, the love of Ferrari, the love of the competition, you know. So that's why racing Monza is really a big pleasure for a Ferrari driver, and I hope we can have a very nice weekend. And it's always very emotional to racing Monza, and gives you a lot more happy to go there and racing. Well, Monza is a very long straight, so you have the maximum speed during the whole calendar. You know, Monza is the quickest track, so, and I think, you know, drivers love speed, and gives you a lot even more motivation to racing Monza with a lot of speed on the blood, and I think that's really the target, and that's really a good direction to racing Monza. Well, I think for sure the DRS create a lot of overtaking, you know, in every race we did in 2011, and for sure it will be another track that it will be very interesting for the people, because we're gonna see a lot of overtaking, and I think that's really another important point for the people, and even for the drivers, because, you know, you need to be careful, you need to work even harder, you know, to try to overtake, but also to keep your position. So I'm sure it will be an interesting point as well. Well, I expect it definitely a competitive car. I finished on podium in 2010, so I hope we can have a competitive weekend and be again on podium in front of incredible people on the whole straight. So let's you know, push hard, and let's try to be very competitive there. Well, Monza is a great place to race. Remember in 2007 I supposed to finish in the podium, second place, and I had a problem, so I couldn't finish. But last year I was on podium, on third place, and it was a really big emotion to be on podium in front of all these incredible people with Ferrari, as Ferrari drivers. So let's, you know, be on the direction to finish again on podium, and I hope to be even higher. You know, let's concentrate and try to be very strong in Monza.
The secrets of Monza circuit revealed by Marc Genet.
I think, first of all, for the drivers, because it's the quickest racetrack there is in the world, and we love going fast drivers, and top speeds of 350 for such a long time sometimes is something not normal in Formula One. Then as well, I would say because it's one of the racetracks that has changed the least through the years, and we're doing corners that 40, 50 years ago they were almost exactly the same. So we know we are racing in a kind of a racetrack which is history. And finally, because it's in a park, and the feeling that you're driving in the middle of the trees, that's something that you can only experience in Monza and maybe in Spa. But the other circuits are more, that's like a natural circuit. Yeah, it's very different. The moment you have the red overall, there's so many tifosi in Monza, and they all want Ferrari to win. They want Ferrari to win everywhere in the world, but especially in Monza. And I've done a lot of testing in Monza when testing was allowed with Ferrari, and that was very special. And I've seen Ferrari win there, especially the last win, which was last year. And when you see these big flags, you know, that they bring, is like a big heart they put in the middle of the track. That's nice. And I think everybody who we are part of Ferrari, we feel is also a little bit of our part of our victory. Is very nice. My best memory is not with Ferrari in that case, it's with Williams, because that's when I did a Grand Prix in 2003. First of all, because it was totally unexpected. They called me halfway through the night, Friday to Saturday, and then I did a very good result there. I qualified 5th and I finished 5th in the race, leading it just during a lap because of the pit stops. And that was nice because I finished the race, I don't know, 20 seconds behind the Ferrari and the McLaren. You know, I was really almost fighting for a podium. So it was nice to get my best result in Monza. Yeah, Monza, almost all corners are special. The first one, we call it first chicane or prima variante, where the braking point is extremely important, because if you brake a little bit too late, most likely you won't make the first chicane. You go from 7th to 1st gear, which is the slowest corner of all. Also very important when you go back on power to be very gentle with the throttle, because on 1st gear you have a lot of wheel spin. Then you go up to the second variante. There is not straight, there is a corner, but we call it even straight because it's easy flat. Second variante is also very important to brake in the right place, but most important is to get the curves in the right way, because there usually the cars jump quite a lot, and if you get a good line you may gain some time. After that you go into the first and second Lesmo, which are medium speed corners. The first Lesmo to me is very nice because it has a little bit of banking in it, and you can feel that the banking is helping you have more grip. Second Lesmo is most important of all is the exit, because there's a long straight from second Lesmo to Ascari, and it's a bit bumpy during that straight. Ascari, I would call it is like a very fast chicane. You use the curbs quite a lot, and there's a change of direction that if you have the car very well balanced, you can even do it flat. And then we approach after Ascari, which to me is the nicest corner of all in Monza, which is Parabolica. Parabolica is beautiful because it's so long, it's so wide. When you exit Parabolica, you have to get very close to the white line on the outside, and you must carry a lot of speed and have a very good exit. And all corners really are so different, but all are so special. I think overtaking will be less difficult. I have still doubts because in Monza we use very small wings and there is low drag, so maybe the DRS effect will be less than in circuits where we have big wings, but clearly it will work because we've seen overtaking everywhere this year, even in circuits like Barcelona where there was no overtaking in the past. So I think the DRS will be a success. I don't know to what extent, but I'm sure that we're going to see one of the best Monza races we've had in the previous years. Yeah, in fact, my last victory in Monza would be in 2007 with a Peugeot in the 1,000-kilometer race. And it's different. Okay, maybe prototype top speed is very similar to Formula 1, but it's lower on lap time because it's much heavier. So most of the braking points, you have to brake them a bit earlier. On a prototype, you can use the curbs more because the car is a bit softer. And the reactions of the car are a bit slower as well. And on such a long race, because 1,000 kilometers is more or less 6 hours, you have to take care of the car, which in Formula 1 you're always on the limit. You're pushing to the maximum for the 1 hour and a half or 1 hour and 15 minutes that lasts the race. In a sport prototype, you have to push, but at the same time take care of the car and be very aware of the bad markers. There's a lot of traffic in sport prototype, which you don't have so much in Formula 1.
And being in line for the Monza race, goodbye and see you at the next Scuderia Ferrari Racing News.